Hey nerds, today we're saying goodbye to Luke Skywalker's lightsabers, but not without saying hello there.
Hello there.
To his last saber, the one that we see in the flashback sequences in The Last Jedi. I'm talking about Luke Skywalker's The Exile lightsaber from Korvath. This thing is amazing. Come with me because you don't want to miss this one out.
May the Force be with you, Padawan.
Hey nerds, welcome back to the Fellowship of the Nerds. I am your host as always, Luke Skywalker, and today we have, like I said at the beginning, one really special lightsaber. So this is the last of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, which is the one that we see in episode 8, The Last Jedi, and it's only seen as part of the flashbacks that we see explaining the story between him and Ben Solo / Kylo Ren. And I'm talking of course about the amazing Exile lightsaber from Korvath. This thing is phenomenal. Designed by Elle Sabers, this thing is absolutely or almost flawless, and I can't really wait to show you guys what this is about. So let's unbox this because I'm sure you're going to be blown away by it. Now the Korvath Sabers box is, as usual, as all the ones that are designed, absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love the fact that you get not only a nice sign, but also on the sides you have things written on each side, and it's always an absolutely cool thing. And this actually we're going to hear later on the video. And then inside we're going to get our amazing hill or charger, a little thing that I will show you more detail in a second, but as you can see it's absolutely cool. And then we get our retention screws and our Allen key. It's absolutely, as always, outstanding from Korvath Sabers. And here it is. No, I'm only kidding. This is what Korvath will give you. They're still giving away these for free with their purchases. So if you want to get yourself this, you will be getting one of these. Well, depending on when you're seeing this, of course. But these things, these little keychains, I think they're really super nice, super cool. They have the 3 features. So another reason to get one of this. But I kid. Let me bring up the amazing Exile episode 8 Luke Skywalker. And here it is, nerds. Look at this thing. Look at how amazing this thing is. The details on the emitter. I love this. I love the details of the emitter here. The pommel, everything absolutely flawless. It's virtually identical to the one from Elle Sabers for Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett. And let me bring that up close so you guys can see. They're virtually identical. The main differences you'll find are around the emitter. So definitely a very different emitter. You'll see here that on this one you can see where the screws goes, where in this one is hidden. And I'll show you guys in a little bit how that is. And you can see that is a little bit like episode 8, little hole there in the middle, a little bit bigger, but like teeny tiny different. And then here on the emitter you can see the Mandalorian was a little bit burned out and this one isn't. I'm not entirely sure if this is because, you know, he just, when we saw this, he had just fought a bunch of droids. I don't know, but that's really that. But that's where the differences end. Like in terms of ergonomics, in terms of everything, they're exactly the same. Of course, putting the blade is different, and I'll show you what I mean by that, because this is one that is going to be very peculiar, and you're about to see what I mean with that. Now before we continue, remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for being part of the Fellowship. It really means a lot, the world to me. And also remember, what we do on these videos is we break down, besides of doing the usual reviews that you'll see in pretty much any other lightsaber channel, We will review what the lightsaber looks like, what it looks like usually in the dark, so you can get a good contrast when it comes to how it lights up and everything. We'll check out how it sounds, the sound fonts that it brings, if we put some other sound fonts, all that sort of good stuff. But we normally do ratings, so we normally check the lightsabers. We do a breakdown in terms of ergonomics, design, and sound. We put those together and we give you an overall rating, and that is pretty much how we make our decisions when it comes to pros and cons, if we're recommending this or this lightsaber or not. I can already tell you right now that this lightsaber will be recommended because it's phenomenal, but I want to show you some of the details of it because it's going to impact on what I mean later on in the video about design. Now, this lightsaber, in order for you to access the blade plug, you have to unscrew this. To reveal where your retention screws are. So there's 3. And it's really cool. It's really secure. So I love that about it. And I don't know if it's because of the type of a blade plug that they use on this or what, but it gives a little bit of more depth. I would say like a tiny bit more depth than the one from from The Mandalorian. But it is the thing that you have to be unscrewing this to then do the tension screws, and it's already a pain. There's really no other way of saying this. It's already a bit of a pain to access, to use your blades and to put everything and to remove blade plugs and stuff, because you have to be using retention screws. But you know, we live in the real world. These are not real lightsabers. But if you have to add an extra step, it's a bit of an inconvenience, but it gives you a little bit more security. And this emitter in particular has a little bit more depth, so that to me is a win. But because it's different, there's not a lot of Luke Skywalker's lightsabers out there that have this. Just thought I'd let you guys know. To access the chassis is exactly the same as the one from The Mandalorian. What I mean by that is you have to just unscrew this. You're going to pull this out. I would recommend that you do with the control box down, because that's where you're going to access directly your
Nothing can make me change my mind.
core, your kill switch, and that's it. You put it back in straight as it was, and you close this, and it's ready to go. So, having said all of that, and having shown you all of that, what do you say we take this one outside so I show you how amazing this thing sounds like? Now, before we go outside, I just want to make a little note here. This comes out of the box with Return of the Jedi sound font, which was phenomenal, do not get me wrong. But because this is episode 8, it just made sense that we added one for episode 8. So this one has Juan Sith, the Lost Uncle, which is phenomenal. We added, we tweaked it a little bit, but because it has a lot of quotes and stuff, you can then tweak it around, whichever way you like best, which is one of the nice things that I love about Juan Sith Kyber Phonics, that you not only get that little bit, you get like a bunch of extra stuff that then you can make it your own, which is always cool. So, having said that, let's take this one outside so I show you how cool it is.
Just like me, they're the last of the Jedi religion. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Absolutely wicked cool lightsaber. The Juan Sith sound font really brings it up a notch in my mind. It's absolutely phenomenal in so many ways that it's really hard to find flaws. We will get to the ratings and the pros and cons, but before we do that, just want to show you, now that we brought it back inside, our usual check again of the sound font and the rest of sound font. So obviously we start with the one that we already seen, which was Juan Sith. Incredibly loud, incredibly powerful. You can hear. Ooh, the humming is absolutely fantastic. Everything about this.
Every word in that sentence was wrong.
No, it's not wrong. This is actually a really cool lightsaber.
Stop!
Okay, I'll stop.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
Absolutely fantastic, folks. I cannot tell you how much I would recommend this sound font. I'm not going to go over the rest of the sound fonts, and just for one particular reason, it's pretty much the same sound fonts that you would have found on our Darth Plagueis review. So if you want to check out all the sound font suite that this saber and Darth Plagueis lightsaber had, you can go to that video. You'll find the link here if you're watching this on your phone. If not, you'll find it in the description. But absolutely phenomenal sound fonts overall. And like I said, it does come out of the box with the one from Return of the Jedi, which is very, very cool. And obviously, it is virtually the same lightsaber. But I just thought that, you know, it warranted to have the one that belonged to the movie, if that makes sense. Having said that, let's start our ratings on our pros and cons. I'll start this rating with ergonomics. Our ergonomics is going to be a 9 out of 10. Reason for that is very simple. This being a lightsaber that has a control box is never going to be able to be a 10, just on the basis that it's not the most convenient. There's always a bit of the, if it's not a bit of the control box here, it's the part of the thin neck that's missing here. But there's always going to be something that's going to make it a little bit uncomfortable. Having said that, I've always said that if you have a lightsaber with a control box, either this or Graflex or Obi-Wan's, try to put the control box away from you, and that way when you're operating it, you know, you're only going to feel a little bit. If you're trying to hold it with your hand like this, with the control box inside, doesn't matter if you're going above or under, it's always going to be a bit cutty on your hand. But if you just turn around, it's going to end up just more towards your fingers, and that's really going to be more comfortable. But that does bring the ergonomics down a little bit. Not so much in weight, because weight-wise, this is a lightsaber that is comfortable. It's never too heavy. It's not too light, do not get me wrong, but it's never too heavy. It's never uncomfortable in that sense. The grenade grip here, it's a little bit touch and go there when it comes to like the comfort of the grip. So all of that combined will bring it down to a 9. When it comes to sound, volume-wise, amazing. It's just like the Mandalorian one. The vented cap here, that is just so perfectly done, because you know, you would just think that that's the design of the lightsaber. Lets the sound through flawlessly. So that is amazing. Usually I don't consider sound fonts when it comes to rating the sound, just on the basis that you can do whatever, but I always mention what comes out of the box. In terms of the suite of sound fonts that it brings, it's a 10. But because it didn't bring the one from episode 8, that brings the overall of the sound of this lightsaber to 9. And then when it comes to design, already what I was saying at the beginning, design-wise, to me, this is fantastic. This is flawless. This is exactly how you see it on screen. The only but to it is that in order for you to get this layer of not seeing the screws, you have this thing of like screwing it. And so despite the fact that visually it's, you know, it's perfect, it does, the design of it does generate a little bit of inconvenience when it comes to having to like unscrew and all that. The other part of that is that whenever you activate the lights of this, it's pretty much the same as the episode 7, is that the lights are just fit like that, and then when you turn it off,
It's time for the Jedi to end.
they stay on, and that's really it. There's no blinking, there's nothing happening here, there's no alternate blinking, which is I don't want to say the way that it should be, but it's definitely the way I like it, because it's the way that we see in that deleted scene from episode 6. So, you know, it's either blinking both of them or just both of them on, that's it. So yeah, that all of that put together brings this on to a 9. So obviously that makes the overall rating of this lightsaber a 9 out of 10, which in my mind It's incredibly high and it's incredibly good. So absolutely, if you were to ask me if this is the lightsaber that the Fellowship recommends, yes, absolutely, we do recommend it. In terms of pros and cons, I think that the things I've discussed on the rating does cover the cons of it and the pros of it as well. So I don't really want to get you too bored into more. But all around, it's a lightsaber that I'm not surprised that it ends up being a 9 out of 10. Because it's incredibly comfortable, incredibly nice. It does give you the Luke Skywalker experience, if you will, at least when it comes to the green one. If you're looking for the Graflex experience, then of course you can check out episode 4 and episode 5 lightsabers that we've reviewed, because they are phenomenal. Or episode 7/8. But in terms of the green one, this definitely gives you the experience of Luke Skywalker's green lightsaber, and I really, really love it. I love how there are certain, I don't know if you're going to be able to catch it, but like there are certain elements here. You see there's like a little wear, it's a little, you can see a little bit of weathering there. This is exactly how it comes, don't get me wrong. And it's just, you know, details like that really make the lightsaber come alive, and I think it's fantastic. So absolutely one that we recommend. And this closes out our Luke Skywalker saga. And what I mean by that is, yes, I am aware the graphic was reformed and fixed for episode 9, but technically speaking, that already is Rey's lightsaber, because, you know, Luke is, spoiler alert, Luke is dead at that point. So there's really, in my mind, no doubt that that is legitimately Rey's lightsaber, and it's a really cool one. I can't wait to show you guys, and we'll do that very soon. But this ends Luke's lightsaber saga that we've been reviewing so far. We still have a few Skywalker lightsabers to go. We have Rey's episode 9, and that would include then later the ones that we've already seen from Leia and Rey's Scavenger, and that will bring the entire Skywalker saga to a close. It's been a pleasure really to be doing these, and I do think if you can get into lore here for a minute or two, I do think it's a shame that Luke doesn't fight Kylo Ren. And again, spoiler here. I do find it's a shame that he doesn't, you know, when they have their final duel, that he's not using this lightsaber. Just on the basis of, I mean, Kylo's just seen the blue light, the Graflex destroyed. Like, he broke it with Rey. Why on earth would, I mean, sure, you can believe, oh, look, my uncle is finally here, so finally I'll be able to give him a piece of my mind. But the fact that he doesn't, you know, clock that, wait a second, I just destroyed that lightsaber, what are you doing with it? I thought that was a bit strange. I do get, if you see the making of and all that sort of stuff, you will find that, you know, that was intentional, that they wanted to do that because they wanted to give Luke, you know, one last go with that lightsaber they had lost and stuff. So, you know, from a poetic point of view, if you will, I do get why they wanted to do it, and also that, you know, they wanted to essentially get Kylo into that frame of mind of, like, you know, seeing Luke as the ultimate expression of Luke Skywalker with his blue lightsaber and stuff. So, like, all around, I understand it, but I don't necessarily like it, just because in my mind it just doesn't make sense. Like, if I had been Kylo Ren, I've been on that battle, I would have been like, no, wait a second, that lightsaber is broken. Who the heck are you, or what's going on here? So he should have been with his green lightsaber, in my mind. But that's really just my opinion. You don't have to take my word for it. You might have your own opinion. I'm not going to get into if you like The Last Jedi or not. I think that there's been way too many debates about the movie and its controversies, for better and for worse. I'll not get into it. It's Star Wars. I love all of Star Wars. And that's all I will say about that. But I just thought that it was a shame that he didn't get one last big duel with that green lightsaber, because it would have been cool. But other than that, this is a lightsaber that's amazing. Really, really another great job from Corbans and L Sabers, because, you know, it's virtually everything that you'll want to have of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. So what more can you ask for? And nerds, that's our review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you liked it. I hope that you find it useful, and I hope that you are looking forward to getting this lightsaber. If you do, don't go anywhere, because we still have to share with you that we will have a discount code for this. So it'll be coming up on the screen somewhere around here, and we'll be getting 15% off for this lightsaber if you get it at Corban with the discount code Fellowship. This is a lightsaber that, like I said, is recommended. It's a 9 out of 10, so you know that it's really good. I will wholeheartedly recommend that you get one of these. Remember that you can get the little keychain as well, at least until stocks last. So if you want to get one of those included in it, I just think it's very cool. It's very fun. So by all means, act quick and get this lightsaber. And it is a lightsaber that it is running out pretty much everywhere. So I will definitely say, if you're looking to get the Exile, go for it, because I cannot guarantee that'll be there for much longer. Hopefully they'll do restocking in the future, but for now, if you want to get it, I don't know when you might be seeing this, but definitely if you were thinking about the Exile, go and get it right now from Corban with the discount code Fellowship. Get yourself 15% off and enjoy this amazing lightsaber, nerds. And up until the next time that we see each other, nerds, remember, I've been your host, Luke Skywalker. The Force will be with you always. Remember to live long and prosper, and may the odds be ever in your favor, Melanin. And until we meet again, Mischief manage. I'll see you around, nerds.